Now first thing we'll be doing and searching for user information, which arrives here for each ID when rendering. And there are some properties too that are not coming here, like the type that we don't have in our schema. So, for example, we can pass here and let's reassign the value of the type that won't come. I'm going to write type receives post, because if I'm not mistaken, that's what we had there. There is also a post quote type, so just passing type post, it renders it there on the screen. Let's rethink now how we can search for user information here. We will test the call to our API here at Swagger. We have the user here, so we can use both get by ID or get all get and do it as we had seen before with the user. But having this parameter, it's ideal to be used. So let's build useState right below our states. I won't go into details about how React hooks are used, but if needed, there are some videos showing how to use them more thoroughly on YouTube. We'll be using a useState to get and set the user post. We'll use this to store everything we get from our API. We will be using this state as soon as it is rendered on the screen and every time there is a change in the user. We will need to check the username we pass here, and the best thing to check when there is a change is the use effect. I'm trying not to change the code structure as much as possible, but there are some things that we can't avoid changing. So, we are doing a use effect here. It is automatically exported up there. Let's open the function, already placing our array for dependency. So, we'll make the HTTP call, which is the name of our API. We'll use it again at try and catch. So, thinking well, let's make a function const getUsePost, which will be an asynchronous function. Copilot helped you here. And here inside, we'll do our try in case of any error. It's always good to handle errors, especially when it's here on the page. Let's make a const data, which will get an await from our API instance, which will be another GET. Make a template string and it will be the user, and bar here we will pass our author ID. And now we can call our state to see, set user post receive data. And remember, we have an array here, so let's pass index 0. And for this to work, we call getUserPost inside useEffect at the end. Now we'll pass our dependencies. What are the dependencies we're using here? The author and user post. Perfect. Oops, here I called getUserPost within the function itself, so let's move outside. Let's see if we already have some rendering on the page. Okay, no error. It took a little while to call the API. Here component, we are just replacing the information as all the information is already arriving from the API. Let's give console.log to see what's coming inside our user post. If it's really coming, console log user post. Let's open the inspector. We can give it a clean. Save it again and refresh the page. Glad it's not giving an error anymore. A promise. Oh okay, it's exceeding the time limit. Okay, you are receiving a promise. We put it in the API, 5,000 seconds. So, I'm making one API call on top of another, so there are several calls, so there's a time limit. Let's see here, updated the page. Let's see what's bringing here. Line 48, and here it is already bringing. As we can see, we already have what we needed info. So, let's put in the component, use post.username, author, which is the ID we have. Here, the type, we also have that we passed there, the user id. If it's equal to created by .id, now it's just created by. It comes in here, gets the post ID. Alright, this is for more for the repost. Let's take a look here on the page. What do we have? Let's increase the API time limit. But, come to think of it, maybe there is no need to increase the time limit. I just forgot to add a question mark, as I mentioned to you. It may take a little longer to arrive. This is to avoid breaking our application, but if necessary we can increase the timeout of our API. So, user post, let's not change. Let's comment on our timeout in the API instance. Let's go back now and see if it brings our names to the page. We need the API call. I'll update the page. Now it's showing the names of users. This may be because I'm making one API call after another, cascading. Let's say it's not the best practice to do. Just so we can show our API call here, how simple it is to use within the project. So now we already have what we needed. When we click here in the name, we need to bring our user information in Modal. It's even giving an error because it doesn't have those pieces of information it needs here. Now we'll be working on opening the Modal of our project with the information when we click. We'll probably be passing the ID and checking what we can bring inside it.